Hi ladies! I thought I would do a little video to go over how to look after your nails while we're in hibernation over the next few weeks or 2 weeks or however long we're going to be at home for. So, first step, don't panic. We'll be able to take care of ourselves at home. And second step, wash your hands for the 50 millionth time in the day. Normally I would start nails with a spray with 70% alcohol to sterilize, but I'm going to provide you with some alcohol swabs. So you should be able to do both hands with 1 or 2 swabs, and just go ahead and wipe all the nails. Because they're already very well washed already, this is just an extra precaution. You probably don't need it, but you can't be too careful. So, next, push back the cuticles. When you do this, it'll just unstick it from the nail plate, and it'll also make it clear so you can see a little bit more easily where the acrylic is meeting the natural nail. Okay, so I'll leave that hand, I'll just do one hand for now. So there's going to be 3 options depending on how long we're going to be going without a refill. So the first option, which I would recommend to go with first, unless your nails are lifting or something like that, but if your nails are looking really quite solid, but just getting long and in the way, you can just shorten them. So use the rougher side of your file, shorten them down to the length that you want. Mine have gotten really long, you can see, so it's going to take a bit of effort. I'll just do one nail so we can all get an idea. Get the shape you want. When I have a little more time later, I'll probably be shortening mine all the way down. It's just getting a little difficult with all the hand washing to be keeping them long. So anyway, this is shorter. You've used the rougher side of the file. And now you need to tilt the file a little bit, like that, just so it gets underneath the nail. You want to get the natural nail. And here you can actually flip over to the finer side as well, and just go all the way along the edges. The smoother the meeting of the natural nail plate and the acrylic, the less likely you are to have lifting. So our main goal is to avoid lifting, because as soon as you have lifting, you get moisture in there. That's when you can have problems with mold, or it's just not ideal for hygiene, really, is it? Okay. So just smooth it all like that. And you've got shorter nails. Let's be honest, you're not going to a party or anything in the next couple of weeks, so that should do if you do that to all your nails. And then just apply some, actually we might buff the ends just to make it extra smooth. Oops, I'm getting a phone call. Let's ignore that. Okay. I'm easily distracted, you can tell. Okay, so just use the buffer. Smooth any rough edges. There you go. So for now, we've left the whole of the top of it. We're just living with it as it is and just shortened them, taking care of any snags. It's nice and smooth, and you can carry on for a little while, maybe a week. We'll just have to see how long that'll last. Okay, so that's step 1, if you think you can live with them as they are. Step 2 is when you feel like there might be a little bit of lifting going on between the acrylic, or you just really, if they're looking a little bit scraggly and you want to clean it up. So if you want to do that, you do the steps that I've already done. And then we'll carry on and buff the top of the nail plate. So start with the rough side of your file, because you've got to get through all of that shellac. And you'll soon see what it's like to file through several layers of shellac. So especially if I've done nail art or one of those colours like this one that's pale and I've had to put 4 or even 5 coats on, it takes a bit of effort. So we'll use the rough side. Once you get a bit closer, just be aware of not filing your own natural nail plate too much. Just stay with the acrylic. You'll be able to feel it with your file, and you can feel it on your finger, obviously. If it starts to heat up, or you know, you can feel any sensation that doesn't feel right to you, then obviously just be a bit careful because you're filing your nail plate. All right, you can actually see with mine, it's got a little bit of lifting on the side already. Just a tiny bit, it's not a big deal. I could buff it and just live with it for a while, because that's the other thing, we can soak them off, but it is going to make your nails pretty weak. So you don't have to go all off or all on. You can actually take them off as they kind of come off naturally by themselves. You can have some that are just filed back, some that are removed. Okay, so I've switched to the finer side of the nail file because I'm being careful with my own natural nail plate. The shellac tends to go over the edge of the acrylic, so there will be on that seam there a little bit that is just shellac. Okay, so you can see here the lifting. Just try and file not on your natural nail plate, but just behind where it's lifting, so that you're kind of filing off any bit that's not attached. Just take your time and use the fine edge. Okay, you can see it's coming off like that. The good thing about if you've taken the shellac off is you can see exactly what's going on with your nail underneath with the acrylic. You'll be able to see if there's any lifting. So there'll be nothing to worry about. Even if you don't put polish on, you know that if it's coming off, you'll know about it, and then you'll be able to take it off fully. So the lifting normally you will find is on the side, because this part was back here. And so it's in a shape that will allow this part to grow out and kind of separate from the acrylic. There's nothing you can do about that. That's just a natural part of the growing out process. This is where you'll probably cry. Have a couple of biscuits and a cup of tea, because this is where you realise you won't be having a refill this month. But we'll get past it and we'll all have fabulous nails again soon. Oh my gosh, imagine that first nails appointment after the hibernation period. It's going to be so exciting. Wonder what colours we'll probably... Yeah, I think everyone will choose crazy colours in celebration. For one thing, if you keep one colour, you'll be very tired of it by the end, I'm sure. All right, so I've gotten off a lot of lifting there. There's a tiny little seam around the edge. I could keep going if I wanted to be perfectionist, but it's pretty good, you know, for not being able to refill. So that's the second option. I won't apply cuticle oil, but if you were going to stop like that and leave it like that, then I would put some cuticle oil on and then just buff it with the buffer. And if I did that, you would find the acrylic will blend a lot better with the oil, and you'll probably get, it's really hard to say, but you'll get a little bit more time for your nails to sort of be short, be practical, and not be coming off. With the oil, they'll look a lot better as well, and you can get through a little bit longer. All right, so the final step is when you decide, okay, I just don't want the acrylic on anymore. When you decide that, definitely go through step 1 and 2 because it'll make the soaking off process a whole lot easier. So I'm making up some kits for you at the moment, and I've done little jars of acetone. So once you get to this stage and you think, that's it, I want to take it off, buff, file, do all of that, and then you can put your fingers in the acetone. Hopefully, you should be okay to just put it directly in the acetone in this jar so that you don't have to make a big mess elsewhere. But it's pretty full, so feel free to put it in a metal bowl or a glass bowl or any kind of bowl that you're not going to eat out of later, and just soak it. I won't do it in this because I've got it all pre-prepared for someone. But what you'll do is you put your fingers in the acetone, sit down in front of Netflix or whatever you plan to be doing, and soak it. And as it melts, you'll just get your orange wood stick and scrape it off. It's better if you don't scrape it into the acetone. You can, but the acetone will remain more active if you take it out for that moment and just scrape it into another container or on some paper or something that you can dispose of. So soaking, scraping, soaking, scraping until all the acrylic is off. Not much fun, but hey, it gives you something to do, and we've got plenty of time on our hands. So I won't do that personally, but once you've done that, you will have a bare nail plate. And then you can go ahead and apply cuticle oil and buff it. I'll grab my cuticle oil. Okay, there was limited stock with cuticle oil, so I've tried to prioritize with who I know will be growing nails out fastest, and also who I know already owns a cuticle oil at home who's purchased one off me. So if you miss out, I'm really sorry, but you can use another oil, say an olive oil or something like that. So, okay, so I'll just take my cuticle oil, apply it. I like to rub it in a little bit. So if you're on step 3, there will be no acrylic on your nail. It'll just be oil. And buff it. And that's it. You'll have not the same as what you've been having, but at least you'll have some nice groomed nails. You can still feel fabulous, and it'll give you something to do while you're trying to pass the time. All right, well, take care, ladies. If you have any questions whatsoever, you can text me. I will have time as well, so I'll be answering any questions that you have. And take care of yourselves and your family, and see you on the other side. Bye.